Multifamily should be the first thing you buy before you even buy your primary residence, let's say, because you want to take advantage of the low down payment financing options with FHA. One of my first investments in multifamily, I used an FHA loan. I bought it with about $20,000. I got the seller to pay the closing costs. And that property today is tripled in value and has uh, produces a very steady stream of cash flow that is today probably a 20% capitalization rate on my money.
Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show. I'm your host, Erika, and today I'm excited to be joined by Milton Andrade. He's been making serious moves in the real estate investing space. Milton, it's awesome to have you on the show today.
Thank you for having me.
So let's jump on in. For our listeners who don't know your world yet, give us the rundown. How did you get started in real estate?
Well, actually, I had the fortunate of my family being in the real estate space growing up, and so it was natural for me to really love it and join and take advantage of the beautiful city that I live in Miami.
Yeah, was there a particular moment for you that you knew this was going to be your lane?
Well, originally I wanted to be a doctor, so I was really studying for that and the MCATs, and I wanted to make a little bit of money for those very expensive applications. So I went to work at the family office, and I started really enjoying the lifestyle of the deal making, the ability to kind of be your own boss. And I just felt like I was more naturally inclined to that, and so medicine became less of a focus, and I really liked the hustle and the grind of real estate.
And when it comes to today, Milton, what kind of markets are you active in and what kind of properties are you focused on?
Well, right now, I'm predominantly focused on residential real estate, multifamilies, and single-family homes in the right neighborhoods that would cash flow well. But the single-family space here in South Florida, I think, still has the potential because there's a lot of properties that have very low rents and have been not maintained or updated. But meanwhile, now the surrounding area can definitely absorb much higher rents with a quality product. And so I've been looking for multifamilies in areas like, Miami Beach, where Normandy Isle, for example, you can still find some good deals where we could then renovate the properties, bring them up to market rent, and increase the cash flow. So it's more of a value add opportunity that I'm looking at.
Yeah, absolutely. And with the market changing over the years, how do you adapt to that? And what kind of advice would you give to our listeners?
Well, I think you have to have a little bit of insight as to where the neighborhoods are going. And so, if you're studying trends over the last 10 or 20 years, it'll give you a better understanding of where the particular area is headed. I also look for large major players.
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
That are moving their businesses to the area. So, like one neighborhood that I really love is North Miami. And if you look at the Biscayne corridor between 125th and 135th here in Miami, you see a lot of major players. You have Whole Foods that came in, you have Ulta, you have a lot of international tenants that have made their way there. But if you also look over the causeway, you have Bal Harbor, you have Surfside. And so, if North Miami is still one of the most affordable neighborhoods, being so close to all of this, you know that there's going to be good movement in that area, and I've doubled my money on properties there. So it's really taking a bigger picture look of where is this located and where is it heading.
Yeah, and looking for those big players, I'm assuming you find some competition too. So what's your go-to strategy for finding those deals, especially off market?
Well, I really look for a value add opportunities, and I use some software that will help. I used PropStream in the past, but now I'm using Property Radar, which really gives you insights on the owners. Right, I can filter um, high equity potential sellers, people that have been in their properties for more than a certain amount of time, that have a certain amount of equity, that are at a certain age, and then I go after them from a real estate perspective first, and then I can look at them as an investment. So first, I try to see if they'd be open to selling their property, if I could help them get the most for their property, and oftentimes I'll find people who never really thought about it, but now are maybe open to the idea. And so I'll go and I'll look at the property as an investment first, if that would work out. And if not, then I would, list their property for sale. But oftentimes I'm looking for divorces, I'm looking for probates, I'm looking for empty nesters. And so I can use this software to kind of narrow that down, build my list, and then target these particular properties more focused.
Yeah, that's really helpful. On the flip side, when you're evaluating these properties, are there some non-negotiable red flags that you look for? And, how does that play in with your decision making?
Well, I may want to stay out of areas that have reoccupancy inspections, depending on the price that I can get the property at, just because if it has a lot of unpermitted work, it's going to be much more expensive to fix now that the city already has it on their list. So I may want to avoid those. I like more of the properties in original condition where people have lived in them for 30 or 40 years and may not have actually upgraded them. So the properties are old and outdated, but they're not broken and they're not out of code. Those are the properties where you're going to be able to get a very good deal on, and you'll be able to um, improve them and really make a difference. And that's why I look for value add. What can I do to make this property better and more appealing to a renter or to a buyer? And that I think is a winning strategy. If you can do a value add, you can have an exit strategy of renting it or selling it.
With the value adds, is your approach to do a lighter rehab, a heavier renovation, or do you have like a formula when it comes to determining what's the best fit?
I preferably would want to stay away from the intense capital expenses like a roof, plumbing, etc. And so if I find a property that may be in original condition in terms of flooring, bathrooms, kitchens, but the roof was done, but the plumbing was done, that's going to be something that I would focus on more because it would be less intensive um, capital inflows that would need it, and also um, we could really focus all the improvements on the aesthetic, which would be faster for
If you're looking for consistent, high quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency, it's the most sophisticated, data driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
higher ROI, right? Better bang for your buck.
Yeah, absolutely. With doing those rehabs or, just the deals in general, I'm sure you've had a moment where things got real, like a deal going sideways or you had to pivot. Do you have a moment like that on your journey and a lesson you can share for our listeners?
Well, I used to not do home inspections because I would be more focused on getting the right price for the property. And I did buy a property one time, and when we started doing the rehab, I opened up the ceiling, and the amount of termites that fell out was really insane. I kind of got lucky because it looked worse than it was. Luckily, old wood is really hard wood and is durable and lasts much longer than a lot of the new wood. But it was quite an eye opener of maybe I should do a more thorough inspection prior to taking the deal. But I was more focused on price, and luckily it worked out. But that's something that really needs to be more of a priority.
Yeah. Yeah, and I know a lot of people here listening are earlier in their journey and are looking to level up. Think they benefit hearing this from you. When it comes to building relationships and growing your network, what's made the biggest difference for you?
Honestly, treating people well, right? I don't have any enemies in this business, and when you're working with a realtor on the other side, and when you're speaking to neighbors and you're looking for an investment opportunity, if you are an ethical person that's easy to get along with, that can make the other person feel like they're being useful, and you're coming to a win-win situation, you're going to go much further. Being in real estate, 23 years now in South Florida, I can safely say I don't have any enemies, because a lot of people who overpromised and underdelivered have had to get out of the business or move away because they burned too many bridges along the way.
Yeah, absolutely. And for you, was there a specific tactic or event from a network that has helped you, land deals or partnerships?
Well, the way I look at it, everybody has to eat. So, you have to make it. You have to make it favorable for, the family that owns the property, the seller, the retiree, or the agent that brought you the deal. You have to give them a little bit of skin in the game so that they would want to work with you now and in the future. I've had investors come to me before and go, hey, find me the deal, and then I'll list it with you. And they did that to me one time where they found the deal. I found the deal. I brought it to them, and then they cut me out. They never got any more deals. And so ultimately, be a man of your word, and people will respect you and keep coming back. And so I'm very hesitant to work with investors who um, don't want to pay, are really just looking for the lowest bottom price, and don't really want to establish a relationship where we're going to work on more than one deal. Because it doesn't make any sense for me to make you rich on one deal that you'll never come back to me with, because I can do that deal myself. But I'm happy to share as many deals as possible with people who are constantly looking to have a lasting relationship. So ultimately, you got to look past the first deal and know that it can be many deals, if you are treating everybody with respect.
Yeah. Absolutely. With your experience in the game, Milton, if you were to start investing now and it was, if you were someone brand new, what would you do differently today?
Multifamily should be the first thing you buy before you even buy your primary residence, let's say, because you want to take advantage of the low down payment financing options with FHA. Like if you're a veteran, you should be looking for VA, and you should start with multiple units of 4 units or below, because that's still considered residential, where you could be able to buy a property.
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
With very little money down. When one of my first investments in multifamily, I used an FHA loan. I bought it with about $20,000. I got the seller to pay the closing costs, and that property today is tripled in value and has uh, produces a very steady stream of cash flow that is today probably a 20% capitalization rate on my money, and it's because I didn't look for comfort. I looked for a deal that would improve over time, looking at the right neighborhood, looking at the right unit mix, and looking for something that I could say house hack, right? And so getting over the need of having the beautiful luxury condo or the beautiful big house for yourself, the first purchase really should be the multifamily investment. And then you can use the low down payment financing options to go from your first to your second to your third and your fourth. Because if you start with a multifamily with an FHA mortgage, within 2 years, you can get a single family home with 3% down or 5% down. And then you can do this again in another 2 years, moving from one property to the other. So you're basically keeping the primary residence financing that you're going to be able to really take advantage of a lower down payment and a lower interest rate. And so it's like you got to play Monopoly in the beginning so that then you can be in your big house, that mansion that you may want, that is paid for by those investments. But you have to do it the first time is the only time that you can use that FHA option for a multifamily. And there's even a further hack. If you work from home and you can work anywhere, you can live anywhere, you can move from one city to the next. I think it's got to be at least 50 miles away from the first, and you could use your FHA again in a different state. So there's ways to do this that are legal, that are fine if you're using the financing correctly, because banks will let you move up, right? And so you can do 3.5% down, 3% down, 5% down, 10% down before you have to get to 20% down, and then everything else on a DSCR is 20% down, 25% down. But meanwhile, you've got 4 cash flowing properties that you've moved from one to the other over the years. And so if you set up that foundation, you'll be bulletproof.
Yeah, that's a really solid plan, and yeah, you have quite a lot of deal volume yourself. So when you get to that point, how do you manage the cash flow without stretching yourself too thin?
You don't want to pull out too much of the equity. You want to make sure your properties stay cash positive. And the reason why I like multifamilies is because you're really very rarely are going to have 100% vacancy. You're always going to have more units kind of helping to pay. And then how do you handle that is don't over leverage yourself. Some people were using the Burr method in the past. It was buy, renovate, rent, refinance. Well, that's still good, but don't pull out so much equity that you're not making any money and this is just paying for itself. You want to make sure that these investments stay in the asset column and don't end up in the liability column, because your payments are higher than the cash flow, or now you have a capital improvement that's coming up and you're not going to have any money to make it. And that's going to then cause a catastrophe down the line. So leave enough equity in there to have the sufficient cash flow to cover itself with reserves for capital improvements and for a rainy day. And so if you're not too greedy to pull out and scale up too fast, you'll be in a much better position.
Yeah, yeah, and I'm sure with having things in place, right, that you can focus more properly on the next thing. So that leads me to ask you, Milton, what do you have on the horizon next? What's the next real goal for you?
I'm looking for um, I'm looking to start investing in commercial real estate that has a business aspect to it. So, like, I want to get into a laundromat, a car wash, something where you're going to own the real estate and the business aspect, maybe as part of a smaller plaza. And I'll be looking in areas that are starting to develop. Like, as if you imagine if you got into like the city of Weston, for example, in the '90s, when it was just being built and just being developed, you'd be a multimillionaire today if you just held on to some real estate. So I'm looking for areas that are currently under development, maybe on the west coast of Florida, where you're getting a 20% discount on properties today, and looking to find a commercial business and building in those areas. Where I could manage them offsite and remote, and basically just watch it appreciate in value.
This really exciting. Are there any challenges that you foresee with that goal in mind?
Yeah, the whole remote part. I might have to actually stabilize the property, and it may require me to take more time away from my current home and post up over there until I get it ready. So I don't want it to be too far away, or at least it can't be too inconvenient to get to. But establishing the right contacts in those areas will enable me to be able to do that. So maybe finding something with management in place.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Milton, before we wrap up, if someone wants to reach out, connect with you, collaborate, what's the best way for them to reach you?
You can find me on Instagram at Milton Miami Realty, or call me direct anytime, 954-629-9952. I'm still communicating via phone. I know different generations communicate differently, but you can still call me. I will pick up.
I love it. Well, Milton, I appreciate your time, story, perspective. It's been awesome having you on the show today.
Likewise. Thank you.
And for our listeners, if you got value from this episode, make sure that you're subscribed to the Real Estate Pro Show. We've got more conversations coming up with pros like Milton who are building fantastic real estate empires. We'll see you on the next episode.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.